Hey there, this is Neha Sheikh and we are on Microbiology Wisdom. Here we are going to cover multiple topics regarding microbiology as well as biology. So if you are a biology student or undergraduate in life sciences, then this channel helps you to clear all your concepts via interactive presentations as well as animations. So today our topic is antibiotic resistance, which is a global threat today. So let's get started. Antibiotic resistance in bacteria. So these all are the contents which we'll see one by one. Firstly, we'll see the introduction to antibiotics, then we'll see what is the antibiotic resistance actually is. Then we'll see the types of antibiotic resistance. Then we'll see what kind of mechanism are used by antibiotic resistant bacteria to handle such type of situation. Lastly, we'll see the factors which contribute antibiotic resistance. So, let's start with quick intro of antibiotics. The word anti means against and biotics means living organism, which is bacteria. So simply it is used against bacteria. As we all know, antibiotics was first discovered by Alexander Fleming, like we have penicillin today. So these all are the medicines to prevent and treat bacterial infections. Antibiotics are one of our most powerful drug for fighting against life-threatening bacterial infections. The antibiotics are derived from a mold or a bacterium, or it can be produced synthetically. Then next, antibiotics are of two types, simply bactericidal and the bacteriostatic. Bactericidal antibiotics are those antibiotics which kills the growth of microorganisms, and the bacteriostatic antibiotics are those antibiotics which inhibits the growth of microorganisms. So the example of bactericidal antibiotics are aminoglycosides, beta-lactams, vancomycin, quinolones, rifampicin, metronidazole, etc. Okay. Then example of bacteriostatic antibiotics are chloramphenicol, macrolides, clindamycin, and tetracyclines, and etc. Okay. Now let's see what is the antibiotic resistance actually is. It occurs when an antibiotic has lost its ability to effectively control or kill the bacterial growth. In other words, we can say bacteria become resistant and continue to multiply in presence of antibiotic levels. Okay, so 1940s to 1962 is the golden era of antibiotics, as most of the antibiotic classes were discovered in that time. Okay, let's see the quick history of antibiotic resistance. With the discovery of antimicrobials in 1940s, scientists prophesied the defeat of infectious disease that had plagued humankind throughout the history. Then, the remarkable healing power of antibiotic invites widespread and often inappropriate use. Okay. This misuse and overuse of antibiotics leads to antibiotic resistance among bacteria, which ultimately result in longer hospital stays, higher medical cost, which cannot afford by a simple family. Okay, which finally results into the increased mortality rate. Okay, some organisms have developed resistance to multiple antibiotics and are called as multi-drug resistant (MDR) pathogens. Common MDR organisms are usually bacteria, like resistant enterococci, are resistant to vancomycin antibiotic and are dubbed as VRE, vancomycin resistant enterococci. Then next example is resistant Staphylococcus aureus, also called as MRSA, which is resistant to methicillin antibiotic. Okay. Now let's see why antimicrobial resistant topic is important for us to know. Okay. So until few months ago, antibiotic resistant disease was one of the world's top health concerns. Now it takes a backseat to coronavirus pandemic. Okay. It is a serious and growing phenomena in contemporary medicines. It is also emerged as one of the common public health concerns of 21st century. According to WHO, World Health Organization, worldwide 7 lakh people die due to antibiotic resistance disease. Antibiotic resistant disease also complicate the care of many COVID-19 patients. Bacteria like Streptococcus pneumoniae complicate viral infections like flu, H1N1, which is influenza, and COVID-19. According to one of the article from Google Chrome, early data from China and recent reports suggest that a significant percentage of hospitalized patients which are affected by the coronavirus are developing secondary bacterial infections. Maybe people are not dying from any virus but from antibiotic resistant bacteria. Okay, this is the mystery today. Okay, the next is the types of antibiotic resistance. So there are two types of antibiotic resistance: intrinsic, which is natural, and acquired. First, let's see the intrinsic. Okay, intrinsic antibiotic resistance. In this type of resistance, bacteria may be inherently resistant to an antibiotic. Gene which is responsible for this type of resistance is called as environmental resistome. Okay, environmental resistome. These genes may be transferred from non-disease causing bacteria to those that do cause disease. Okay, then next is the acquired antibiotic resistance. It occurs when bacterium acquires the ability to resist the action of particular antibiotic from another resistant bacteria through horizontal gene transfer, or we can say through spontaneous mutation, which we'll discuss in the next slide. Okay, infection caused by bacteria that have acquired resistance to antibiotics can no longer be treated with that antibiotic. Okay, so these all are some examples of natural resistance. Our first example is the streptomyces have some gene which are responsible for resistance to its own antibiotic, which is streptomycin. Then next example is the gram-negative bacteria have an outer membrane as a permeability barrier against antibiotic like penicillin. Then next example of natural resistance is the organism lacks a transport system for antibiotic, efflux pump, or organism lacks the target. Okay, our last example is the organism lacks the target of antibiotic. The target like antibiotic needs target, but if bacteria lacks the target of antibiotic can no longer be able to work, and in this way bacteria naturally resist the antibiotic. Okay, so next, now let's see how they develop such type of resistance. Okay, here we can see there is a penicillin as well as penicillin sensitive as well as penicillin resistant bacteria. When penicillin act on them, act on this population, penicillin sensitive organisms are killed off, but penicillin resistant bacteria that have developed resistance are not killed off. Okay, they continue to divide and then resulting in a complete resistant population. In this way, mutation and evolutionary pressure cause rapid increase in the resistance to antibiotics, and eventually bacteria develop resistance. Okay. The next, acquired antibiotic resistance. Acquired antibiotic resistance can occur as a result of horizontal gene transfer and the vertical evolution, which is also called as spontaneous mutation. Firstly, we'll see horizontal gene transfer. Okay, it is the horizontally transfer of gene between organisms. It involves bacteriophage, plasmids, and transposons. Okay, genes that are responsible for antibiotic resistance in one species of bacteria can be transferred to another through various mechanisms. We can say horizontal gene transfer is the primary reason for bacterial antibiotic resistance. Okay, various mechanisms in horizontal gene transfer are transformation, transduction, conjugation. Okay, so now let's see the vertical evolution, which is also called as spontaneous mutation. It is a spontaneous mutation occur at relatively low rate. Such mutation have deep effect on resistance of bacteria population to antimicrobial resistance. Okay, now let's see transformation, transduction, and conjugation one by one. Firstly, we'll see the transformation. So here we can see, let's change the color. Here we can see resistant bacteria, and here is the non-resistant bacteria. Here you can see genetic material of resistant bacterium is directly inserted to non-resistant bacteria in close proximity, which is non-resistant. Okay, so due to transformation of resistant gene to non-resistant bacterium, it gets acquired resistant. Result in both bacteria have antibiotic resistant gene in their chromosome. Okay, this is about transformation. Then second is the transduction. Here resistant gene is transferred from one bacterium to another bacterium via virus, which is a vector bacteriophage. Here we can see bacteriophage infect another bacterium and transfer resistant gene, so result in the resistant recipient cell. Okay, now third example is the conjugation. Now in conjugation, we can see in the picture genetic material plasmid is transferred between bacterial cells by directly cell to cell contact or by bridge like connection. Here you can see, which is called F. pili. Okay, from F. pili they transferred their gene. Result in both bacteria now have antibiotic resistance on plasmids. Okay, that's all about the horizontal gene transfer examples. Now second, we see the vertical evolution or spontaneous mutation. Okay, so here the bacteria grow and multiply fast and can reach large number before its multiplication. It needs to make two identical copies of DNA in its chromosome. Okay, one for each cell. Every time the bacterium goes through this process, there is the chance, or we can say a risk, that error occur, so called a mutation. Okay, spontaneous mutation occur at relatively low rate. Such mutation have deep effects on resistance of bacterial population to antimicrobial drug. So this is here is the example of vertical evolution, which is a result from single base pair change in the gene encoding ribosomal protein to which streptomycin bind. The point mutation alters the target and make drug inactive. Okay, this case we can see in the aminoglycoside streptomycin antibiotic. However, the chance of organism to develop mutational resistance to multiple drug is extremely low. Okay, then now let's see what kind of mechanisms antibiotic resistant bacteria use to handle such type of situation for their survival, which is one of the Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. So resistant bacteria adopt various mechanisms like alteration of a pathway, inactivation of antibiotic, efflux pumping, decreased uptake of drug, change in shape of receptor, modification of antibiotic target, which I am going to explain you on further slides. So let's get started. First, let's see the inactivation of antibiotic. Inactivation involves enzymatic breakdown of antibiotic molecule. If we take example of beta-lactamase enzyme, so beta-lactamase enzyme secreted into bacterial periplasmic space, which attacks the antibiotic as it reaches to the target. Okay, so the bacterial gene AMPC codes for beta-lactamase, and more than 190 forms of beta-lactamase enzyme present in the cell. They usually turned off and they only turned on in presence of beta-lactam ring, which is present on the drug. Okay, so here is the beta-lactamase, which is also called as penicillinase, break the beta-lactam ring of antibiotic. Okay, here you can see that it breaks the beta-lactam ring of antibiotic. It results in the inactivation of penicillin, inactivation of drug. So this is the very first mechanism of antibiotic resistance which bacteria use against antibiotic. So let's see the second example, which is aminoglycosidase enzyme. uh, Aminoglycosidase enzyme inactivates aminoglycosides. Aminoglycosides bind to 30S subunit of ribosome as a aminoglycoside antibiotic. Before binding to 30S subunit, aminoglycosidase enzyme inactivates the drug. Okay, so that's all about inactivation of antibiotic. Now let's see another such mechanism of antibiotic resistance, which is change in shape of receptor, also called as decreased permeability. So in this type of mechanism, mutation takes place in bacterial cell which alter the drug receptor so that the drug cannot enter the cell. Here is your microbial cell. As the drug reaches to bind the cell receptor suddenly changes its shape due to mutation. As a result, bacteria escape its activity from antibiotic. Okay, so our third mechanism is efflux pumping of antibiotic. First, let's take a look on efflux pumps. They are found in plasma membrane of all bacteria and outer membrane of gram-negative bacteria. It keeps the concentration of antibiotic in the cell below level that would destroy the cell. Okay, they are active against beta-lactams, fluoroquinolones, tetracyclines. They are of two types: narrow spectrum, which is used for single type of antibiotic, and the broad spectrum, which is used for more than one type of antibiotics. So let's see the mechanism of operation of efflux pumps. They have four mechanisms basically. Antibiotic is pumped out, cation are pumped in at the same time, and the third mechanism is they use to remove antiseptic and disinfectant substance. Okay, so these three mechanisms uses counter flow. The fourth pump mechanism is one way transport that consumes ATP. So in this mechanism, no simultaneous import of cation and it is relatively rare. Okay, so here you can see in the picture all the mechanism. Okay, so another mechanism is the alteration of the pathway. Some drugs competitively inhibit metabolic pathway of bacteria, as you can see here in the picture. But to overcome this problem, clever bacterium uses alternative unblocked pathway. Here you can see in the picture that produce the required product. Okay, this is very simplified image I have given to you. Okay, then E is the modification of antibiotic target. This is one of the mechanisms adopted by resistant bacteria to resist antibiotic. So bacteria cannot modify the antibiotic's target to escape its activity. Bacteria must change the structure of target, but the modified target must still be able to function. This can be achieved in two ways: mutation of genes coding for target protein and importing a gene that codes for modified target. Okay, very first target is the ribosome. We can say primary target for antibiotic is bacterial ribosome. Different antibiotic affect them in different ways, so the resistance can be the result of modification of ribosomal DNA, so as it's no longer too sensitive. Some organism uses target modification in conjunction with efflux pump. Okay, here resistance is even more effective in the ribosome. Then our second target is the PBPs, which is penicillin binding proteins. They are present in the plasma membrane. PBPs are target for penicillin. As penicillin reached to bind these proteins, they modified their structure. Okay. Therefore, there is no binding to any penicillin molecule, and the result is cell wall constructed correctly even in presence of antibiotic. Okay. Then the third target of antibiotic is the enzyme. Bacteria have enzymes. DNA gyrase, also called as topoisomerase 2 and topoisomerase 4. Both are essential in DNA replication. As we all know, DNA gyrase are used in unwinding of supercoiled DNA, and the topoisomerase 4 are used for partitioning of chromosomal DNA during cell division. So these two enzymes are target for fluoroquinolones. As the fluoroquinolones drug reaches to the target, structure of DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4 is modified. Antibiotics do not attach the modified enzyme, and bacteria can continue replication even in presence of antibiotic. Okay, that's all about modification of antibiotic target. Then our last mechanism, decreased uptake of drug. As its name suggests, reduce the permeability of membrane to prevent uptake of drug inside the cell. But how do they do that? They actually turned off production of porine and other membrane channel proteins. Turned off production of porine and other membrane channel protein. This type of mechanism seen in bacterial resistance to streptomycin, tetracyclines and sulfur drugs. Okay. So now let's see the factors which contributes to antibiotic resistance. So our first topic is the environmental factor, in which huge population, poor sanitization, increased traveling, either it is national traveling or international traveling. These all contributes to antibiotic resistance. Okay. Then next factor is the drug related, fake drug, quality of drug is poor, over the counter availability of action, over usage of drug contributes to antibiotic resistance. Okay. Then our third factor will be patient related, poverty, which is the big problem. Self medication, oh, this is the worst thing ever. We have seen this many times in our surrounding, that people take medicines themselves, and this is the worst thing ever. This leads to antibiotic resistance also. Then lack of sanitization, lack of education, misconception always contributes to antibiotic resistance. Then physician related factor, inadequate dosing, lack of current knowledge of training. Okay, these all are the factors which contributes to antibiotic resistance. And next time, if you suffer from any type of illness, please take an appointment from your doctor and do complete your treatment. Yes, even if the treatment is left incomplete, also cause antibiotic resistance. And don't overuse any type of antibiotic. Stay hygienic, stay safe. So that's all about antibiotic resistance, and if you want to study for the more interesting topic like this, stay tuned with me, and you can easily find and download my presentation from SlideShare. I linked below in the description box, and I hope you find this video helpful, and if you do, then give this video a thumbs up, and I also let me know in my comment section. Thanks for watching.